Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 183, about half the number of pops that I have. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
What's going on, Ant? How you doing?
Well, you know, nothing new.
Nothing new, exactly.
Nothing. Well, this is new.
Actually, that is new. Yeah, what is, boy, you, that's it, you had enough, huh?
Well, no, I think, earlier this week my cats were conspiring against me, and while I was sleeping, the claws came out. Next thing I know, my hair's gone.
This isn't like a leave Britney alone situation or anything?
No. As you can see, I'm not completely bald. So
this is fair. This is true.
No. I just went for a nice self trim. You did. The hair was getting a little too long for my taste, and I did a little job. That's all.
Can we see the back?
No.
Fair enough. Okay. No problem.
Nope. Because I can't see the back. I don't know what happened back there, so nobody's going to see the back.
Actually, we both did, I guess, a little trimming, right? Last week, I think I had a full Santa beard going on, and
and once you realized it wasn't December,
the people had spoken, so and opted for me to shave. So if I am nothing else, I am a worker of the people.
Yes, and if I may say, you're much better off without the beard.
Thank you very much. Now you can see all three of my chins,
but that's okay. They're very smooth and clean.
Oh, this is very true. All right, awkwardness out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna oh boy. So you went a little crazy. Not crazy. I shouldn't say crazy, but you just like forget it. I gotta cut my hair.
Yep.
The beard I could have kept, but I'm like, people said. There's other aspects of my life that I really hope my mother does not watch this episode, because this week I went nuts on Amazon.com and Amazon.co.jp.
Ooh, baby. Well, look, you know what? I mean, we're stuck in our homes. We need to find ways to entertain ourselves. Sometimes, it involves doing a little shopping. I did a little shopping on my own. I ordered some game cases for from custom game cases.
Nice.
I ordered for my Nintendo 64 games. Not all of them, but I bought like a dozen just to see how they look. Hopefully I'll get those. I got a note that they're shipping soon, so I should hopefully have them next week. I would hope.
Yeah, it's I'm interested in seeing what the N64 ones look like, because the Genesis ones that I got, I mean, they're Genesis, so they look the same, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm dying to see what the and how much room they take up, because I'm really interested in putting like my Super Nintendo, my NES games in them, but it's probably going to take up a little bit more room, just the nature of the size of the box. So when you get them, definitely, let's take a look at them.
Yeah, exactly. So like that was my big purchase this week. That, and I bought a couple of PlayStation 4 has literally a new sale every week.
I know.
So I find myself buying a game almost every week.
So much, Mr. Physical.
Yeah, I know. It's funny me getting digital ones, but a lot of the games that I buy digitally didn't have physical releases, so I'm okay with that. And it's gotten to the point where there was a new sale, I think, that went up 2 days ago, and I went on there to pick up a game I was waiting for to go on sale. And
that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went to go buy it, and then I noticed, I said, wait, it doesn't say purchase. It just says download. I already have it.
Oh, okay. So now you're completely forgetting what you even own.
Yes. Yeah. See, and that's the problem I have with digital, because I know what physical games I have. Digitally, no idea.
I did. Don't mind me. I did a couple of things. I both spent big and physically bought big.
Okay.
So we're gonna get into this in a. Actually, might as well get into it right now. So. Yeah, what started as look, I'll call it like it is. I'd gotten some birthday money from a family member.
Okay.
Thank you, Grandma. And she was like, she's like, look, spend it on whatever you want. Like, she's like, do not put this towards bills. Like, I want you to specifically splurge.
Right.
And for the most, I gotta say, even before the quarantine, I've been doing really good financially speaking. Pull the curtain back a little bit. I'm usually a bit frugal with my money. So, just buying everything on a whim's notice. But I've been doing really good this year. I feel like what we're going to talk about today, is a result of me not being able to normally spend money. So I'm like, I have way too much money. I got to send it out. So I got to get rid of it.
And you're helping support the economy.
I am. And instead of small businesses, I've supported a lot of big businesses. But be that as it may.
Well, then you almost got it right.
They got to survive too. They got to live too.
I think they'll be fine.
So she's like, spend it. And I was good, holding off on it, did a little here, a little there. And then finally pulled the trigger. Now, also one more thing as far as programming note, I did tell Anthony there would be no timestamps because I have a lot of everything in front of me, but I guess we'll stamp this time because the one thing that I have that I'm not able to show right now is because it's ginormous is I finally picked up the Capcom Home Arcade.
Ooh.
Yes, and that's really what kind of started this whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one was just released in Europe, correct? It wasn't released here.
No, not just really. It's been out for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. No.
I know, but what I'm saying, I mean, it's exclusive to Europe, right? We don't have US version.
Correct. It was never released over here officially. In fact, I bought it, from the UK on eBay. Found a good price for it, actually. Well, at least I thought it was good, with free shipping, so even better. Nice. And I'm like, you know what? Let me finally get a hold of this. Yes, it's another situation where I got a lot of the games already on like the Capcom Beat 'em Up collection on the Switch.
Okay.
But it's the collector in me wanted it. There's no one around me to talk me out of it. So onto eBay, hit that purchase, buy now, I should say.
Yeah.
And I got to say, for what it's worth, 24 hours after it shipped in the UK, I got it in New York.
And that's just astounding.
I didn't even buy expedited shipping. Wow. I mean, it was free shipping, but I mean, I highly doubt the guy was going to give me free expedited overnight shipping from the United Kingdom, especially nowadays. So, yeah, it was funny when I checked the tracking number, and I did this with a lot of the other orders because I find myself bored sometimes. So I'm going to sit there and I just follow the tracking because I'm like, oh, where is this now? And it was like through DHL, and they're the ones that do the international shipping.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, there it is in Leeds, England. Okay, now it's in Germany. All right, Guten Tag, and then it finally made its way over to New York and then to the US. But I was just kind of I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this to show up. As soon as that doorbell rang, straight down, picked it up. Needed 3 people to bring it up.
It's that big,
bro. It is. I mean,
You don't have to grab it, but I'm just...
No, I can't. I got it wedged. I got it right now on the lower shelf, which is going to stay for a little while, but it's just as big as almost my coffee table.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, it is huge. I did do an unboxing video of it and some play video.
Which I did watch, yes.
Yes, you can find it on our YouTube and Facebook pages. The thing is amazing. It's ugly, but it's cool.
Yeah, that was the one thing I had. Like when we first saw it a couple of years ago, and we did talk about it on our podcast. That was my biggest concern. I was like, this thing really doesn't look good because it's just a giant Capcom logo with joystick and buttons on it.
Yep.
And I'm like, I was like, the design is kind of weird. So
there's no letters on the buttons. Like there's no high kick, low kick for the fighters.
Nope.
But as I mentioned in the unboxing video, it's very responsive. It felt good. It didn't feel too tight. Didn't feel too loose, which is good.
Just right.
Just right. Exactly. The Goldilocks rule.
Yes.
And the 16 games in it, definitely, once I figured out how to put it into 4:3 format as opposed to 16:9, the games look phenomenal. The exclusive Alien versus Predator, which I've played at Barcade, plays exactly the same here.
That's
on,
cool.
On the home console. So definitely beautiful, but it's not one of them. Like that's something to break out almost on a special occasion.
Okay.
Because granted, it's the same plugs. Don't get me wrong. It's an HDMI wire and a USB mini input. Okay. So there's nothing to it. It does connect to Wi-Fi, but in 2 years, there's been no firmware update. You can't update, well, I guess without hacking it. There's no updates with the video games themselves.
Okay.
But bottom line, it's worth it. I will say it's more for a collector side of it who doesn't mind playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But If you have the spare money, I would say get it. It's awesome to have.
Okay. Well, good to know. My biggest issue with owning something like that isn't necessarily, obviously, because it's retro gaming. I'm all in because I am all, I love collecting. The problem is the size of it. Yes. And finding space, because I've actually been in the process of like minimizing what I own, and I've been selling a lot of stuff. And and I'll be honest with you, recently, the last like week or two, I'm finding people buying more stuff on Facebook Marketplace and eBay and stuff. So I guess everybody's getting bored, and understandably so. So like investing in it, no big deal, but finding a home for it physically would be the problem in my place.
That's the thing. Like, I put it back in its box and I put it on the shelf, which is the best way for me to store it right now. Trust me, I wish I had the shelf just to keep it out. But I don't right now. Maybe down the road I will, but for now, but definitely well worth it.
All right. Very cool.
And with that, it kind of made me think I do have a nice collection of minis. Early episodes with the flashback episodes that we've been doing. One of the, I think our 4th or 5th episode was the announcement of the NES Classic.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
It really did that week. Yeah,
that week, all of a sudden, it was like, what is this?
Yes. So I figured, because I have more of the minis. I mean, you have which minis do you have? A few of them, right?
No. I have quite a few actually. I have the NES Classic, the SNES Classic. I've got the Famicom Mini.
Okay.
I have these the Sega Genesis Mini, the PlayStation Classic.
Genesis.
I did. Yeah.
I didn't think. Okay.
I haven't. I'll be honest with you. I have not opened it.
Fair enough.
But I have. I have the PlayStation Classic, which I haven't opened.
Okay.
I have the Commodore 64 Mini that I bought 3 years ago when I was on my trip to Italy.
Yes,
remember?
You did.
Also,
you have the international version.
I have the international version still in its box.
And there's something to that with keeping them in the boxes. Trust me, I respect.
For certain ones, and then I also have that that gold Famicom Mini that was celebrating.
You got more than I thought. Okay.
It was celebrating the 50th anniversary of anime.
Oh, you're talking about this one?
I'm talking about that one.
So I brought over some of the boxes just to show off. Yeah, I
don't think I have any of them on my shelf behind me anymore.
Oh no, I literally had to bring all these over.
Yeah, I've moved all of mine, but I have a bunch. I'm just missing. I never got the Super Famicom Mini.
Oh no.
No,
Super Famicom. Okay, I got it.
I never got the Super Famicom, and I didn't get the Mega Drive.
Side note, if you want to see gameplay of this, check out WWE Superstar Asuka's YouTube page. She actually does a playthrough of this. Yeah. I mean, everything's Japanese. They're all Japanese exclusive games. So
and that's the main reason why I'll never open that one, because
me too.
They're Japanese exclusive games, but not only that, but they're very story driven. So I wouldn't understand the word.
And then, so I'm just kind of showcase some of the mini stuff that I have here. I have some of the systems. I have some of the boxes. And I just knocked over Kaylee from Firefly. So this was the first, and don't mind some of the dust. So this was the first mini that was picked up, actually, for me, from Anthony on his, first or second trip to Japan, probably?
Yeah, one of my first trips to Japan. That's when it was coming out, and I found it.
Yes. Look how tiny these controllers are. It's the only thing that bugged me about this system is how tiny. Yes. Everything's proportionally sized.
So, I'm trying to remember if that was the one when I went there, they had just come out, and were they just opening a box of them? Because I think that's what happened, because they were selling out like wildfire. Yeah. And I went to the store with my boss at the time. And they just so happened to have it. So, but they were only selling one per customer. So I actually asked her, my boss, to buy one so that I can get it for you.
That's right. You did. And thank you. So I got that before getting this one. This would be the NES Classic.
I have that one as well.
Yep. And so I got, and I think, and this is where the collector comes in. I think I kept all the boxes except one. I can't find the Famicom box, which is going to annoy me, but I know I have it. I
have all the boxes. In fact, when I was reorganizing everything, I realized that I still have an extra one that hasn't been opened.
Oh,
NES Classic.
Interesting. Oh shoot. So moving on, then I picked up. We had a wonderful episode that was I recorded between 12 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and 10 a.m. in front of Best Buy
Yep.
while I was waiting for the Super NES Classic.
Yep. Same
This
here.
is one of 5 I got. No, 4 I think I got that day. You got like 4 or 5.
I wound up getting 5. It was really funny too.
It was ridiculous.
Because I met a coworker of mine at like 4:30 in the morning at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And we picked it up, and then right in the same area was Best Buy. So we walked over to the Best Buy after we got it at Walmart, and we're like, "Hey, let's just see." And Best Buy, and at that point, Best Buy was already open, and there was a line. But there weren't enough people there for it, so we wound up getting it at Best Buy too, and then 3 orders online that wound up going through on top of that. Now,
I placed 2 orders while I was waiting at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
In my defense, though, all of them got disseminated to people in like family and friends who wanted them. It wasn't I'm keeping them to jack up the price and resell them.
Absolutely.
Like somebody else I know, my brother-in-law, who
oof. Yeah. That's a subject for another show.
Yeah. So
I'm sure. Yeah, I got like 1 for me, 1 for my godson, 1 for somebody who I don't talk to anymore, and I think I got 1 extra. I may have gotten 1 extra just for the heck of it, and then I forgot who I gave it to. Oh well.
Yeah, I wound up giving them to people who needed them, and I wound up getting an NES Classic at some point for my sister. That's the one I did not buy, the Super Famicom Classic.
So this is a Super Famicom Classic, and I know and I know that I have the Famicom box as well because I picked up these cases, these plastic cases. I was going to put the boxes in to store. So.
Cool.
But then I got too many boxes. I'm like, forget that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was basically Nintendo. Then I had moved on. Eventually, I did find the US Commodore 64 Mini.
Very nice.
Which now they have a full-size Commodore 64.
Oh,
that looks just like this.
That's kind of cool.
With a workable keyboard.
Ooh.
So you can program your own games.
Nice.
64 games in here. You quickly realize, unfortunately, how dated some of the Commodore 64 games are.
They really
still fun. But there is you can plug in a keyboard into this and you can program. So there is like a not DOS. What do you want to call it? BIOS, I guess.
Yeah, it's whatever was on the Commodore 64.
Which was Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Now
I just remember Lodestar, comma 8, comma 1.
Yes, I remember. Don't ask me why. And I thought when I was little, I thought I split the atom on the Commodore 64. I used to be able. You were able to hold Shift or Control, whatever the button is,
mm-hmm.
and then if you literally just ran your finger across the numbers, like on a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
It did something where then if you hit the space bar, it drew colored lines. Across thing, and I'm like 5, so I found this, or 6, maybe a little older. So I'm like, oh my god, what did I discover? I used to do it.
There was also a way to like compose music on it.
Oh yeah.
All
right, then came along a mini system that split the world as we know it. There's a lot of conflicts in life. You're either a Neil Diamond fan or you're not a Neil Diamond fan.
Ooh.
You're either, if you live in New York, you're a Jets fan, or you're Giants, you're Mets, you're Yankees, you're Islanders, you're Rangers. In life, you're either for the PlayStation Classic or you're against the PlayStation Classic.
I would like to correct that. You're either against the PlayStation Classic or you're Larry.
No, there is a small group of us who will, now granted, a lot of this group waited for the PlayStation Classic to go on a drastic sale, where I decided, you know what? Sony works hard. I'm going to pay them full price. Day of.
And then there were some of us who canceled their pre-order when they heard how bad it was and wound up getting it down the line for a whopping $12.
Look at that. The lineup is good. You can argue every one of these systems about the lineup. What should have been on, what should not have been on, this, that, and the other thing.
In this case, just specifically in Sony's case, they were not, again, as their first official console, they didn't have a lot of really great first-party games when the PlayStation came out. The biggest games to come out on the PlayStation were the third-party games, but to put them on the Classic, they would have had to pay licensing rights and stuff like that. So that's why like some of the best games on the Sony PlayStation didn't wind up on the Classic. It would have cost a lot more to buy that thing had they added all of those.
But also, I think, in my opinion, a lot of like two of the games, Tomb Raider and Castlevania Symphony of the Night, had just gotten re-released right around this time. So to me, I'm like, look, they can make more money with the re-released versions than throwing it onto the Classic. So again, that's my thinking. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is what it is.
Yeah, now, you just reminded me about a piece of news I need to look at.
Alrighty. While you're doing that, so because I have a Famicom Classic, because I have a Super Famicom Classic, now if there's any sort of OCD I have, it's probably a collector's OCD. Because now I'm like, well, I got the North American PlayStation Classic. God help me, I need the Japan version
now
of the PlayStation.
How different are they? Because I don't have that one.
This is where I think things started to change as far as the minis and the lineups of the games.
Okay.
So for the most part, they were the same, short of like a couple of, I think there was a Japanese RPG that may have been on the Japanese version.
Yep.
There's a version of Darius that's on the Japanese version, and I love my shoot 'em ups. But the biggest thing, actually, one of the biggest reasons I think, Ed, you should get a PlayStation Classic from Japan is the fact that it has Devil Dice.
I love Devil Dice.
I know you have Devil Dice, but I'm just saying, if you were going to pick up a Classic.
Yes. Well, I mean, I would pick it up just for Devil Dice, but considering that the Polymega is supposed to be showing up soon,
at some point.
I won't need to worry about it. However, again, the collector in me would love to add that to my collection if I can get it for $12.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing that I just saw on the back. So, all right, long story short, those who've played Metal Gear Solid, you know that there's one point in the game where you use the codex to call somebody, and they ask for a code.
Okay.
And famously enough, the code was found on the back of the jewel case of Metal Gear Solid.
Right.
It was code 140.15. The reason why I know that is because the Japanese PlayStation Classic has the code on the back of the box underneath Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, because if you don't have that code, you can't get past it.
No. The North American version says, do what you can, you're on your own.
Nice. Well, thankfully, there's the whole internet thing to look it up.
That's true, too. Okay, so PlayStation.
So really quickly, I just want to jump in here with a bit of news, only because I saw this yesterday and I'm like, wow, this is a really good deal. If you are a PC gamer and you play your games on Steam, Square Enix right now is having a huge sale on Eidos games. Eidos is the company that made Tomb Raider, but
yeah, they got good games.
Right. You get 54 games, 54 Eidos games, which comes out to $500 worth of games. They're selling it right now for $39.24.
Steam has some wacky sales.
Yep. So it's like 95% off. And but just really quickly to run through the list of games you get. And again, I'm not a Steam guy. So I don't, I will not be picking it up. But if you are a Steam person, just the list here is insane. First off, you get all the Tomb Raider games, all of them.
Okay.
You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Legend, Anniversary, Underworld, Guardian of Light, Temple of Osiris.
This is beyond PlayStation.
It's PlayStation and beyond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get basically all the Tomb Raiders, all the Deus Ex games, all the Thief games, all the Legacy of Kain, Dungeon Siege, and then about Hitman Go, Omicron, the Turing Test.
Unicron.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of games on there. The majority of them are Tomb Raider, or a good chunk of them. Life is Strange, Just Cause 3, Sleeping Dog.
Boy.
Yeah, so like,
wow.
Yeah, if you're an Eidos fan or a huge Tomb Raider fan and you do like your PC gaming, head over to Steam right now. I have no idea how long this sale is going to be up there, but 54 games for $40.
Can't complain about that.
Never mind. Nope. I will correct. The deal, well, unfortunately, the deal ends on May 11th, which is Monday. This drops on Tuesday. So if you didn't know about it, you've missed out.
Okay.
I will. I'm going to post this on our page.
Fair enough. Okay, no problem. All right. So I have a few more minis to show. So we move on from the PlayStation, and then after 6 attempts, maybe, of a company called At Games of putting out a plug-and-play for a wonderful system, Sega goes, you know what, At Games? You're done.
You're hit the fired.
Basically, yeah. We're taking our ringer out of the bullpen, and we're gonna do it ourselves. And then Sega announced their first party Genesis classic, which of all the classics, I gotta say, quality of games, the setup, everything like that, I will admit this is probably my favorite of them. 40 games, 42 games actually, remember, because on this North American version, you get bonus never released before on Genesis, Darius and Tetris. The Tetris one's a weird one, but nevertheless. So we got this one. Very cool.
I think the only game really that was missing from there was Castlevania Bloodlines, right?
No, it's on there.
Oh, it's on there. Oh, okay.
It's on there, yep. And it's weird. The only Sonic game on here is Sonic 2.
Yeah, I think because they didn't want to overload it with Sonic games. I thought 1 and 2 were there.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. 1, 2, and Spinball. Is this one only the one that has 2?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, here's why. So now the Genesis for the collector, and this was bugging me for a long time. There's 3 different versions. There's the North American version, this one here. There's an Asia version, which has about maybe 5 different games exclusive to itself. Which I didn't find yet for a reasonable price. But then there's the Mega Drive Mini, which is the Japanese version. Which, again, in itself has some different games. Mostly, again, Japanese-driven, like RPGs, which I'll never play. But it's cool to have, really, because I can now finally properly display my Tower of Power.
Very cool.
With the correct Genesis. The Japanese, because all of this is the Mega Drive versions.
I really wish I had the Sega CD version.
Yeah,
the one that went underneath. I have the one on the side that doesn't work anymore, unfortunately.
Version 2, yeah. But you got to be careful. That one would break easier because of the movable tray. So we kind of lucked out a little bit.
Well, I also have the JVC Xi now to take it.
This is true. That thing's awesome.
Which I'm very happy with.
So I did plug in the this Genesis, the Mega Drive, Mini. Also the difference here between the two. I got 2 controllers on this. I did. The North American came with the original 3-button controllers. The Mega Drive did come with the 6-button controllers.
Yes,
which was interesting.
Well, and you need the 6-button controllers because Street Fighter's on there.
It's not required, but it makes it easier. Yes. So, but nevertheless, now I have that mostly for the Tower of Power. But there's a couple of there's a game on here actually on the Genesis, on the Mega Drive. Where is it? Musha, Musha, which I have a repro of it anyway on cart for the Genesis, but an original version I think goes for like a few $100s. So
really?
So wow. I got it on here, which is a fun shoot 'em up, and then I think Shining Force 2 is on here as well. But again, I'm never going to be able to play that. So
why not?
Well, not on this.
No. On the English version, you can.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. So, okay. So I boot this up, and obviously everything's in Japanese, obviously. So I'm like, all right, well, there's a language. So I'm sure I can change it to English. And so at least I can kind of wiggle my way through this. So I find the language part, and I select it to English. All right, cool. When I go back, the menu goes from this to this.
Oh, so the games?
No, hold on. Oh. I checked. I'm like, tell me the North American games are actually hidden on this system. Yes and no. No, there's no additional games, but like, for example, Mega Man. On here is Mega Man The Wily Wars.
Right.
On here In English, it's Mega Man: The Wily Wars. In Japanese, it's Rockman: The Mega Man Wars.
Okay.
Gameplay is the same, but it's a little different.
Okay.
Same with Bloodlines. When you do it in English, Castlevania Bloodlines. When you do it in Japan, Vampire Killer.
Well, that makes sense.
To their credit, though, when you change it to English, it also changes the box art.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
You get the American box. Yeah, so you get the American box art. All right. So, and this was actually a recent purchase. One of the 4 recent purchases that really is stemming this episode.
Okay.
So when I ordered the Capcom Home Arcade, I'm like, you know what? It only overnighted from Japan. That wasn't too bad. And to be fair, when I ordered the Tower of Power, which none of these actually work, this is all just for display. These I ordered from Amazon.co.jp. They also got delivered 24 hours after it shipped.
That's awesome.
So now I'm like, oh yeah, totally. So now I'm like, oh, and back then it was free shipping with Prime.
Wow. Very cool.
They learned their lesson. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. Let's see what else I can do. First of all, from North American Amazon, I ended up getting, moving forward, next system, Neo Geo.
Ooh.
Neo Geo.
Nice.
This is the international version, Neo Geo Mini International.
Okay.
Bought it here in the U.S. 40 Neo Geo games.
Nice.
Now, my problem is, and I was online for about a half hour trying to figure it out. There's Neo Geo Mini International, and then there's a Neo Geo US version.
Okay.
But I don't know if this is the US version, but it's international to Japan.
Okay.
Or if it's the US version, it's international to us, because there are different games.
Okay.
There's about 14 different games. But I can't figure out which is which. And I don't want to run the mistake of purchasing the same one.
The other one.
So I got to figure it out. But this one I did break out because this is the system.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. It's because you can play it right there without hooking it up to the TV.
Correct. I mean, it's not rechargeable. You do have to have. It does come with a USB-C, so it does have to be plugged in. But the controller is very good. The buttons it works beautifully. But what is cool is you can hook it up to your television.
Yep. Can you plug in a controller?
Right there. There's controller port 1.
Uh-huh.
There's controller port 2.
Okay, see, that's awesome.
And side note, those controllers are now on order.
Of course they are.
So this thing I recommend. This Neo Geo is awesome. I wish I don't have power supply right now.
Yeah.
And even on this little screen, it is beautiful to see.
Well, my issue with the Neo Geo, though, is when you look at the list of the games, it's not there's not a lot of variety.
Well, it's Neo Geo. Let's face facts. There's about, half of these games are fighters.
King of Fighters, right?
Specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 King of Fighters. 1, 2, 3 Samurai Showdowns. And then about 6 or 7 other fighters.
Yep.
You got 5 Metal Slugs. So there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But, and look, also, there's been collection after collection after collection that's come out, which I'm sure we all own at some point. But again, the collector in you, if you want it, well worth it.
Yep.
Well worth it. Oh, and it was on sale. That's really why I picked it up. It was like $30.
Oh, for $30 I would buy it.
Yeah. So that's why I picked it up. Okay. Then the final thing, which I'm going to do here. So when I ordered this.
Yep. The Mega Drive Mini.
When I ordered the other thing, I'm like,
Which other thing? The Capcom?
Well, I'm going to show it in a moment. No.
Okay.
When I ordered the other thing, I'm like, because I placed the order and then I canceled it. Because I'm like, I want the Mega Drive, and maybe I'll save on shipping if I order the two together through Amazon.co.jp.
Okay.
I didn't save on shipping, but a little bit, I guess I did. But so, and we're not going to get into, because I don't want it to sound like, because I know sometimes I can sound like I'm going to get into it, but I'm not going to get into, when I say political, not politics, but the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, which was originally supposed to come out in March, has been delayed as of right now until January 5th. I was stressing delay because they really delayed it out.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into it right now. And I want you to know I'm not going to get into like, oh, they should, they shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line, it's delayed. and delayed to the point of I know a lot of people canceling their order because they just don't want to wait for the TurboGrafx Mini.
Yeah, I mean, a 9-month delay is huge.
Yeah. But there then all of a sudden videos were what?
But I was just gonna say a 9-month delay is huge. I believe our Polymegas were supposed to arrive in August last year.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's a whole other ball game, my friend.
Well, you know why it's a whole other ball game? Because it was prepaid.
This is true. This is very true. So these videos on YouTube started coming out of reviews of the TurboGrafx 16 Mini.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, how the hell is that happening?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, it turns out that from Amazon.com in North America, they're delayed till January 5th. Somehow, no, not somehow, you can even today, I just didn't do it, you can order a TurboGrafx 16 from I'll just call it Japan, Amazon Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And it will get to you before January. It will probably get to you this week.
But it's the Japanese version.
No, the North American version.
The North American version is available?
Well. Oh. Yes. That's what's weird. The only reason why I didn't order the North American version is because I'm cheap and I already put a gift card, like half of the amount in gift cards already on the North American version. So I'm just going to let it sit. It'll show up when it shows up.
Oh, look at that.
See?
There it is.
Oh, and just in case, there is an option up on top to change the entire website to English.
It automatically translates for me.
Oh, good for you. No, well, I mean, to really.
Oh, look, and they've got, here's the PC Engine Core, the PC Engine Mini. Oh, no, there goes my movie.
So the TurboGrafx 16 and the PC Core are basically the same thing. It's North American and Europe.
Yep.
But then you got the PC Engine Mini, which is the Japanese version, this is the one I have right here.
Very nice.
This is the one I picked up. There is some difference in games. I don't know which one specifically. And this I have not opened yet. I'm going to open right now for the world to see.
All right. Where you are? Oh, am I 18 years and over? Yes, I am.
Are you ordering the North American version?
Shh. Hey, what happened to my English translation?
I told you, just change it on Amazon site. It's right next to the search bar.
No. It says it right here. I have it. Always translate to English. Oh, this page could not be translated.
That's a separate program. That's why. Just let Amazon do it. Do you see the little thing right, like in the middle on top, right next to the search bar? Probably says JP right now.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Change it to English.
Ta-da!
There you go.
Oh boy. Oh, I forgot how much yen translates. Gotta figure
it's almost $1 to $1, right?
Ish, yes.
Wow.
But anyway, go ahead, unbox.
Tiny. Holy Lord. All right.
Now, why didn't you buy both?
Oh, I guess you were too busy doing a search for it. As I mentioned, no, it's okay. The North American version I have ordered here, and I already put like half price down with a gift card.
Oh, got it.
So I'm just gonna let it sit. It'll
cool.
Hopefully my knock on wood, it'll get, because here's what's weird. It says January 5th, but if you go to the actual product page, it still says New Year's Eve. So to me, I'm like, maybe it'll come out sooner, because never mind. So hopefully it'll come out sooner. Anyway, here's the PC. Look how tiny, and this system was tiny to begin with.
Yes.
Now, of course, it's the mini version, so it's going to be even tinier. But look at this thing. There it is.
Engine. Oh yeah, that's super tiny.
Super tiny. You got your on-off button right there, the green button.
Nice.
The two USB controllers.
Very cool.
What's cool about this one, even with the North American version, you can buy a 5-player multi-tap.
Yes, I see that.
For it. Yep.
I see that.
This is interesting. There's.
I'll be honest with you though. What's that?
That's what it is. I'm an idiot. That's the HDMI in the
car. Oh well, duh.
Well, it says extended bus, which is funny because I'm like, maybe you can attach something to it, a la the Tower of Power. This is I like this. This is very cool. What does that say? AC. Oh, the original AC adapter used to go on the left. The antenna switch used to go on the right.
Cool. If you look on it a little bit. Now, are you going to buy the European version? That looks like the core.
No, because there's no difference in games as far as I saw between the North American and the core.
Okay.
I don't think I need to at this point.
But you will.
You know damn well that at some point I will.
At some point you will.
And here is the controller. Now, oh yeah, look at that. Wait, where's the? Wow, there's a full-size controller.
Nice. Very nice.
You know what? I gotta say, I mean, the white looks good, but I got to admit, I like the North American TurboGrafx controller. That I'll get when it shows up. At least now I have a second controller.
Black is better.
Works well. I like the buttons. Yeah, but what's weird on this one is, remember, the North American TurboGrafx had the turbo buttons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one doesn't. So, but in any event.
Well, they didn't care about text on back then.
No, of course. And then, of course, I can add to my collection another USB mini USB plug and another HDMI wire.
Mm-hmm. Well, the cool thing about all of the minis now is, like, if you put them all on a shelf together, you can just swap the HDMI depending on which one you play.
That is exactly what I do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I'll just take them off the shelf, put them in front of the TV, plug it in.
Yeah, because they pretty much have the same HDMI, and for a lot of them, I think, if not all of them, the same power cable, right? It's all the USB.
Yeah,
USB mini.
They're all USB mini.
Yeah.
I have learned, though, over the time that some of them, sometimes you might want to use whatever plug, like the AC adapter comes with it. Because apparently the Apple iPhone traditional little plug doesn't always give as much power as it needs to.
Right.
So I've been using the NES Classic plug, which seems to work
on
universal.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
And that is basically my collection of minis. The only other three to mention, is I got two of the Coleco little arcades that I got on Kickstarter.
Okay.
I think I showed them once before. It was a Robotron and Rainbow Bright.
Yes.
Those are cool. And, of course, the wonderful gift Anthony got me for either Christmas or my birthday one time, the plug-and-play WWE Steel Cage Challenge.
Oh, yes. I think that was Christmas.
Probably. Yeah. So then that is it on
for your minis. Well, I also have the Steel Cage Challenge mini as well.
Yes, I think it's pretty cool.
But I get, it's funny you bring up Coleco, because I think I was going to throw a question at you and say, what mini would you want to see happen next? For me, it's actually ColecoVision, because I never owned a ColecoVision. I used to play it at a friend's house, and there were so many games on it I enjoyed that I kind of want to see them come out with one.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I feel like the two go-to answers are an N64
and a Game Boy.
Yeah. But beyond those, Coleco would be pretty cool. I would say at this point, I don't see, well, PlayStation proves me wrong. I would say I don't see any other disc, like CD-based systems. But they can, if they did with PlayStation, they could probably do it.
I was going to say, I mean, for Sega, I think a Dreamcast one would be amazing if they can pull it off, because
I can see that.
The Dreamcast, again, we always say it was the most underrated system, I think, of all time. The games on it were amazing. But also the Sega Saturn, because the Sega Saturn had some decent games. It just did not perform well.
No, true. Definitely had some decent games. I feel like, though, like the idea of the minis is to go back in time. So I feel like maybe even like an Atari mini, like a 7800 mini, maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Which, again, they've done the plug and play.
Well, what's funny is you talk about go back in time. The Saturn was 25 years ago, and the Dreamcast was 21 years ago.
Don't even remind me. I can definitely see, because they've done the Atari plug and plays. Again, though, it's been with games. I think at this point, Atari can come out and do it on their own.
True.
Really show it. I mean, we're getting the Atari VCS anyway, but for a plug and play, I think it would work out.
Yeah,
really
well, I have a feeling the VCS is just
mini.
The VCS is going to offer a lot of like the old Atari games for download.
Oh, it's going to. Yeah. I'll let you know when I get it, because I have it on order.
Yes. Oh, which also reminds me, we haven't brought this up in a long time, but how about a mini for the Sharp X 68000?
That would be sweet. We haven't mentioned that in a long time, have we?
Not. That was an ongoing thing for a very long. When we used to do This Week in Gaming every week, the Sharp X 68000 would always come up.
That monster of a computer system. Did you actually get to play it at the Long Island Retro Expo?
No, I did not get. I didn't even see it there. But I did come across one on one of my trips to Japan, and trust me, I wish I could get it in my suitcase and take it home with me. I would. I totally would have.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
So I think I'll say Atari, like a 7800 Atari mini. I think would be pretty cool. And then because otherwise, oh, you know what? If they did a Genesis, I would say go back one and do a Master System.
Oh, a Master System one would be really good.
I think now that I said it, I think I would go Master System over Atari at this point.
Okay, well that's fair.
So,
cool.
Yeah, yeah, I think other than that, that's basically about it.
I think that's enough. I think you did enough shopping.
So what is your tracking number for the TurboGrafx?
My tracking number is 347-683-947-3421.
That sounds like an order number.
I'm sorry.
You may want to blurt that out.
No, I made that up. I didn't order it yet.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
I'll be honest with you because I'm looking at them and I kind of like the European version. So.
Oh, the core. Yeah, the core's, well, it's tinier. It'll fit better.
Yeah, and I like the gray and the controller looks cool. So I'm not because I have the American one also on pre-order on Amazon for January. So I'll probably get, if I keep that pre-order, I can get one of the other ones for now.
This is true.
So, and between the Japan and the European version is calling out to me. So
I'm sure I will have the European version by the end of the year.
I'm sure you'll have the European version by the end of the month.
End of the day. Name that tune.
Name that tune. I can name your purchase in 2 words.
Overpriced. All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to call it early this week.
I think so.
Yeah. Ant, where can they find us?
They can find us right here where they're watching us on youtube.com. Or you can find us on facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast, Instagram @RetroGamersPodcast, Twitter @RetroGamersPod, and you can email us at email@theretrogamers.com. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are pretty much everywhere.
We are dominating your earwaves right now.
We are dominating, and we would greatly appreciate you guys if you leave us some 5 stars. A nice review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to us is always helpful for us. We love keeping this going. We love talking gaming, and we cannot do that without you.
This is very true. And with that, by next week, we'll have our hair and our beards grown out again.
That's right. Yeah, I'll have long hair again.
And have a good week. Let me know when you get the system.
I will keep you posted. We'll see what happens. But you have a great week as well. Don't buy anything else.
I'm gonna try. I am gonna try not to. It is a pay week, so I'm in trouble.
Oh no.
And with that, we will catch you right here next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.